I'm Justin Davis, and this is Drone Camps RC.
Today I'm lucky because I'm reviewing what is considered to be the best RC trainer plane in history. It's the Stick by Dancing Wings Hobby. This is the version 2 one, and this one has a 55-inch wingspan. That is a pretty good size, a really nice glide ratio on this, and it also is sporting a 46-inch fuselage. It's all BALSA and MONOKOTE on here, so it is not a foam airplane, but it flies way different. What the BALSA and MONOKOTE construction does is it kind of lightens everything up and makes it fly really nice and smooth. Also, optional flaps. They recommend putting on a Sunny Sky 2820 800 kV motor. I've got this old HOBBYWING motor on here, which works just fine with around a 10-inch prop. And a 60 amp ESC is also recommended. You want to use something like a 12-inch prop. I have 2.5-inch tires with steel landing gear on here as well, which is super sturdy. And underneath my wing, inside the fuselage, I took the extra time to go ahead and install the Zod Copilot on here because I wanted to see if Copilot would work on a MONOKOTE and BALSA airplane. I've tested this flight controller on many other planes up to date on my channel. 3 flight modes, GPS, return to home, all the bells and whistles are on here. There's my GPS right there, loading up to like 16 to 17 satellites. It's nice to have that extra comfort on the plane if we need it. And up front, traditionally, they have a quick battery access hatch right here. You can just lift that up and you have your wing on. And also we have my FPV camera on the bottom, but sadly I lost the footage for that today. So we're just gonna be flying at line sight like the old school days of RC. All right guys, we're gonna do surface check. Let's go ahead and do some line of sight flying. Here we go. I'm gonna take off in manual mode. Just gonna check that I'm in manual mode. You won't see the ailerons move around if you're in manual mode. So here we go. Once I get up, I'll test out my other modes, but we're gonna see how the Stick flies on a 3S battery. It's 3S 2200. I was getting over like 10 minutes flight time yesterday with it, so let's go ahead and take off. Here we go. Nice and slow. And I think it would be a little bit better, probably on a 4S battery. You can put as large as a 4S 5000 in here. And the nice thing about Sticks is that they really have a nice glide ratio. If you have just a little bit of a headwind, makes it even nicer. I gotta watch that sun over to my right. I'll lose all my orientation. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip in stability mode now, and you'll see it level out. Now I just gotta pretty much use the right stick left and right where I want to go. She's way up there right now. Use a little bit of rudder in my turn, come back over the field here. Gonna come down, and that gyro will keep that nose up for you quite nice. Look at that, just cruising. I'm gonna give it some hard rudder, get away from that sun. And when I come back around to land, I'm gonna land it nose into the wind too. But look at that, it's really crawling up there now. And I've never FPV, I've never flown FPV with a stick before, because traditionally I grew up flying sticks with nitro motors. But look at that, look how slow it is. Really nice, efficient wing. It's got a really wide wing on it, so super efficient. It'll just cruise at like just below half throttle. Even about quarter throttle, it's still got a nice glide. Not a high stall characteristic type of plane. Now what's really neat about this plane, went completely blind there for a second, the sun got me. What's neat about this plane is that it also, not only does it have a nice glide ratio, it also does some extreme aerobatics if you wanted to. You can fly it on 4S and just inverted 8s, your Harrier rolls, whatever you want to try to do. You can hover this plane. Most of the guys in the field, in the AMA fields around the country, have this plane as a sort of a staple in their hangar. One of those planes they never get rid of. And a lot of guys buy different size ones too. This is a pretty good size stick. But they make them all the way up to about 80 inches. Nice big wingspan. But this 3S 2200 will keep me up there for, yeah, well over 10 minutes with this motor combo.
And I'll put some links down below for the right combo for this plane. And that sun is making it really hard to make my turn over here on the right side of the screen you're watching. But look at that slow hover. Let's just bring it in and land it here. Nice slow landing. A little bit of elevator coming in. A little bit hot. But it's nice because it does have a rudder in the back. So you have rudder and a steerable tail wheel. So let's go ahead and take off again. Do another quick takeoff. See if we can get off the ground there. Just barely. But look at that. Nice, smooth, predictable flyer. But it took me about, I guess, about 3 or 4 nights just sitting, watching TV, setting this plane up, putting the electronics that I wanted on here from a 3 to 4S battery. If you want it mild, fly it on 3S. If you want a little more punch for aerobatics and a quicker takeoff and a shorter distance, use a 4S battery. 30 amp speed controller and above. You could even put like a 60 amp in here if you just want to be safe, but you should be fine with 30 or 40 amp. All right, guys, and I landed with a tailwind there earlier, just because I've kind of got the sun to my right hand side, but generally you want to land this plane into the wind if you can. Man, she's just cruising. Such a cruiser. All right, so I got a little bit of a battery left. I'm gonna just kind of swing back around here, make a few small circles, and normally to kill off some altitude, I'll bring it in and just kind of corkscrew down. But man, this plane is so efficient. Look how slow it goes. Motor's almost to a stop. I completely lost it there in the sun. The sun is in a bad place right now. I should have the sun to my back. But look at that, it's almost hovering coming in, and I'm gonna have a tailwind coming down the runway here. Look at that, that's crazy. A little more throttle coming in. Try to keep that straight. Sweet. Really nice flying plane. And back on the ground in one piece. If you go home at the end of the day with a plane in one piece, you know you had a good day.
So thanks again for flying with me today. I feel like I'm visiting the past and the future at the same time with this plane because it's been a favorite of mine for over 20 years. Most people love the stick at the RC airfields, and we've kind of brought it into the future by adding the Zod co-pilot with GPS return to home and very, very easy to set up. If you can plug in servos to a receiver, you can put GPS on a plane now, which is really cool, for about $40. I'll try to put the link down below for that. Take care, guys.